ball. Big win Saturday, winning the division, allowed us to accomplish our second goal. We got 5 goals, and we had to play a long time to get that second one done, and so that was something we really talked about. After watching the game on tape, there's had 82 plays, a lot of really good things in there. Again, continue to run the ball very well, 227 yards versus that defensive front. I think is a big accomplishment. It really speaks to our offensive line, tight ends, and running backs doing a good job there. Also, a big stat of the game was 8 of 15 on third down. Continuing those drives, I think, was critical. And then Kelly was 20 of 30 passing, and made some plays when we needed it. The biggest thing when you go back and watch the tape is there's really 3 plays that make the game maybe a different game and really get control of it early. And going back watching it, it was really 3 basic things. There wasn't anything that's major that we have to do some extraordinary things to get it corrected. It really came down to 2 plays between the quarterback and running back. We had 2 opportunities, second and goal at the 1-yard line, and just the basic things of quarterback and running back mesh. We fumbled the ball twice, and we get 3 points instead of 14. And all of a sudden we do the basic things and hand the ball off or pull it out and hold on to it. It's a 42-14 win, dominating performance, and we're better than we were last year. And that's literally how close it is. It comes down to 2 type plays like that, and those are things we can get corrected. The other play was the deep ball that we had down the sideline to Dion. Just a very routine catch. It wasn't anything difficult about that. I thought Kelly had a nice ball. We catch that and go in. It's a 24-7 game in the 4th quarter, and really put them away. And so that's probably the biggest disappointment is we had a couple opportunities where we could put the game away and not have to have everything at the end to win the game. And with that being said, there's positives that come. Going back watching it on tape and talking about it, it really, the end of the game reminded me of our 10th game last year against Pitt. Pitt, if you remember, we had 2 interceptions in the red zone. I think we had 3 interceptions on the day, 2 of them in the red zone where we got no points. And then it comes down late in the game. We're up 2 with 5 minutes on the clock. Very similar to this past week. Against a good defense, we're up 3 with 6:36 on the clock, got the ball at midfield. And obviously last year against Pitt, offensively, we didn't get it done. We had a 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. We didn't convert. They go down and kick the game-winning field goal. And this year, we went down and scored 2 touchdowns in the exact same situation, probably against a more stout defense. So that's probably one of the biggest positives is the way that we finished. And the biggest negative is we had opportunities where we should never have been in that situation. So there's a lot of teaching. The biggest thing for us offensively, especially this time of the year, is the teams that have success, the ones that are continually working to improve. And our guys have had that attitude. They've come in each week, and that'll be the biggest thing down the stretch is coming in focused, really working on improving and getting a few things cleaned up. Number one, ball security. Even though I think we're better this year overall in turnovers, I think we have 11 after 10 games. Last year I think we had 21. 11 still 11 too many. And you can go back and look at several of our games. If we protect the ball, then the games really are not even close. So that's something we'll continue to talk to everybody about. Continue to stress. And then the other thing I think is probably the biggest thing right now is just getting the connections down the field. We know we can do it because we've done it. This year we won some big games early in the year, throwing and catching against some very talented secondaries, and we do it every day in practice. But unfortunately, last few games we haven't connected on as many plays down the field as we want to, and it's not all on the quarterback. You can go back and we've gone back and studied those, and really there's plenty of blame to go around, but really you're not looking for the blame, you're looking for getting it corrected and being able to execute. If we make that play on the conversion ball, late in the game last week, then we're in a lot better situation there. So that's something we'll continue to work on and continue to stress with our guys. But I have full confidence, that we'll get back to where we need to be, because that's who we've been, and continue to improve. I got a big game this week versus the Citadel. Coach Sweeney says it all the time. Everybody talks about expanding the playoffs. Well, we're in the playoffs. We lose, we're out. So there's not much more that needs to be said, and our guys know that. Big opportunities to get our 10th win. I can remember being here with Coach Sweeney, and that first year we got that 10th win was a huge accomplishment. It's the first time in maybe over 20 years, and now, to kind of wake up 7 years later and we got an opportunity to get our 10th win for 7 consecutive seasons. I think it's a huge accomplishment. Military Appreciation Day is always a big day here at Clemson, and one that we really enjoy. And then obviously Senior Day, last opportunity to play in Death Valley for those seniors and for our football team this year. There'll be a lot of excitement going into that. So we'll go back to work and get ready for Citadel this week.
Quick deep ball thing. Curious about one of them. I think you had Cornell open, and was it a case of Kelly maybe not seeing it, or just being too timid to pull the trigger? Or?
Yeah, that one, was a crossing concept where we had, the play is designed, for Dion to work his way through a lot of traffic on a crossing pattern, and they came down, had low safeties, and Cornell was one-on-one, and yes, that's definitely one that we want him to take. And that's kind of an alert. It's not the main progression, the main read, but if you get one-on-one, then you come off of your reads and take that one-on-one shot. And yeah, looking back as we go back and watch this with Kelly, that's one that we want him to let that thing rip.
Coach, didn't get a chance to ask you the other day, is the nostalgia with playing Florida State kind of worn off a little bit for you? It's been so long, and especially with Coach Bowden gone so long.
Yeah, it has. Really the first couple of years whenever I was here as a player, going back and kind of being a reserve wideout and being the holder, that was probably whenever I had some of those feelings. But ever since then, it's hard to believe my dad's been here 19 years now, so almost twice as long at Clemson as we were at Florida State. I always have great memories at Florida State because Bobby Bowden allowed the coaches' kids to be involved just like Coach Sweeney does here. And I probably would not be a coach without Coach Bowden giving that access to the coaches' kids, because I was out there every day at practice. My elementary school was 200 yards behind Florida State's practice field, so from first grade on, as soon as that bell rang, I took off running to the practice fields, and I went to practice all day, and then whenever the coaches went into meetings, I went and sat in the corner, did my homework, and my mom came and picked me up, and that was a normal day. And so I got a lot of great memories down there as a young kid, but that was so long ago that now it's kind of moved on. One thing I told our guys, for a long time, a lot of these guys that are on our team now, they don't know anything different other than what Clemson's done the last few years. But for a long time there, 90s and early 2000, Florida State had won 12 of 14 ACC championships. And to have a chance to beat them 3 years in a row, win the division 3 years in a row, that's a huge accomplishment. That's not something to take lightly. And every time you play Florida State, it's going to be a battle. And pretty much whoever wins that game over the last few years, 8 or 9 years.